Hey, did you know you can go to colinwallen.com in order to get art and art prints and originals if you want? And because I'm moving soon and I don't want to move them with me, you can get them for like 20% off. So just hit me up, colinwallen.com. If you're interested, I'll see you there. So hey everybody, this week's painting is going to be called Antidepressants. It's not antidepressants, they're sleeping pills because functionally speaking, for me, that's the same thing because if I'm asleep, I can't be sad. This is an unhealthy lifestyle, but, kind of what I'm doing with myself right now. So that's what this one's about. There you go. Anyway, let's get into this week's topic, and it comes from Twitter because I just was having the worst time trying to think of what to talk about this week. And it actually works into that, and we'll get back to that in a minute. But this question comes from Natalie, one of the few people that actually ask questions that have something to do with art and not like, what is my opinion of Keanu Reeves? For whoever asked that, he seems all right. Maybe he's just got a good PR guy, but he seems like a legitimately nice guy, so that's cool. Not the hottest take ever, I don't think. Anyway, Natalie asks, have you done one about creating/posting new content consistently? For an extreme example, the pressure to post something new every day during Drawtober. So let's pretend for a second this is a normal year, because in the future we will have normal years, and I don't want this content to be, completely shut to just the kind of stuff that it only makes sense for 2020. 2020 is an interesting year. Let's put it that way. That's a nice way of not getting flagged on YouTube. It's an interesting year because of the additional pressure that it adds to us. And stuff like Drawtober and Inktober and stuff like that, they're great. They're a good way of getting you to actually commit to a consistent schedule. And I think that is a good level of pressure. However, for a lot of people, the reason they're doing it is either because they are already a full-time artist and already have their schedule worked out where they have time in their day to do art, or they're someone who really, really wants to do art, but, just never seems to find the time in their day. Because let's pretend it's a normal year again. You have things you have to do. You have to go to work. You have to go to school. You have to do XYZ. You have to go grocery shopping. You have to go get gas. There's all these little things that add up in your life that always push stuff like art out of the way consistently. I'll be real with you, one of the reasons that I made this channel was that way I would be forced to actually get it together, because only about, I think it's 10%, might be 20% of artists who go through art school actually end up doing art for a full-time gig. And I, outside of what I do on Twitch, stream and video games, I do it as a full-time gig now. And I'm very grateful to anyone who's bought a print or a painting or, supports me on Patreon. But I don't think that would have been possible had I not had that pressure to make sure that I did it. Now, my mind works that way, that I have to have schedules, I have to have deadlines or things don't get done. I think it has something to do with the ADD where everything can be pushed off a little bit, and as long as, whatever, it gets weird. So for me, that's helpful. I've never, ever been able to do Drawtober or Inktober. I always forget. It's just too much. I like the idea of it, and I've talked about Inktober in the past about how it's, this cool thing, but, it gets very elitist and it gets very blah about stuff. Remember that your point of what you're trying to achieve in these months is to have a consistent schedule, and I think especially this year, but I think we could very easily extend this to any year where we just have stuff we have to do. And, it's a little unreal to try and expect all of this work out of us in this short of time. A lot of people are going from 0 to 60 just to be able to do no art now. And then as soon as Drawtober hits, they're doing all of the art. So if that kind of pressure works for you, if that's the kind of person you are, like if you're like me where you just have to have basically that mental gun to your head to actually do the stuff where it doesn't get pushed off another week, because you could just do it tomorrow, you could just do it the next day, you could just do it a month from now. It always seems to be able to be pushed off. By having stuff like the Patreon, I am forced to actually sit down and do it, and it has made my life better because then I can't push it off. It has to be this week. It has to be today. I have to do the work now, you know? And it feels good. But the scheduling of stuff like Drawtober, I feel like, is a little frenetic, and it is a little too fast-paced for a lot of people. I think maybe a alternate version where it was, 6 ideas, or 8 ideas, I guess it would be 2 per week, would be a little bit more reasonable. Maybe I should set something like that up. But anyway, if you're doing something like Drawtober, if you're doing it as a hobby thing and you don't have to have this level of consistency, you need to be kind to yourself. This is a lot to expect from someone who wasn't doing art every day prior and is trying to, jump in the deep end and hopefully learn that they can swim. They haven't checked before. I feel like it's a little bit rough, but if you do plan on doing it, just do your best and don't worry too much about it. And lastly, I just want to say, hey, make sure you comment something down below that you'd like me to cover in the future. There's been a lot of stuff that people have already covered on the art YouTube side of things. And there's some stuff that's just it's not really much of a hot take anymore. There's no real opinion there. So, it doesn't really do any good to bring it up again. And I want to do something that actually helps you and benefits you, but I don't know what kind of stuff that's going on in your head. What kind of stuff are you guys worried about? What kind of stuff do you guys care about when it comes to art that you need to know my opinion on or would like to know my opinion on? Just let me know. And anyway, let's go ahead and thank those people on Patreon that I was just talking about that helped make this thing happen, both financially and the little bit of extra pressure that actually gets me to sit down in front of a canvas every week. Starting with Wepfu. Thank you, Wepfu. Thank you, Top Houndor. Thank you, Tina Kill. Thank you, Targo. Thank you, Spiral. Thank you, Spencer Kane. Thank you, Punkster. Thank you, Flenixia Theoran. Thank you, Orthogonal Caster. Thank you, Mortibus. Thank you, Micah. Thank you, Maliciousness. Thank you, Lost Nevada. Thank you, Kayla Hollinger. Thank you, Katana Squirrel. Thank you, James at Games. Thank you, Holgen. Thank you, Duxu. Thank you, Dragon. Thank you, Demetrius Gales. I think I got it right that time. Thank you, Chiptune Glitch. Thank you, Bubba Fair. Thank you, Bep. Thank you, Andy. Thank you, Amber. And thank you, Ants! It's like a little jump scare at the end of every video. It's great. And this time I waited until the morning of, so that way I'm going to just wake up all my neighbors and they hate me. Anyway, thank you for watching. It seems like you liked it if you watched all the way to the end here, so go ahead and subscribe. And again, leave a comment down in the comments down below and just let me know, hey, what do you want me to talk about next time? I'll see you guys then. Bye.